I am live, only half an hour late. In fact, I'm gonna turn Dougie down because we've got Dougie on, and I've got a cameo from Ruby. Well, we're not going for bath just yet, so I was gonna hop on live at 7. Well, actually, quarter to 7. Before doing bedtime, but it's a new laptop after my one kind of went a little bit awry just before we went away. So of course I've had to load everything back up again, but it's good. But so I haven't really been much on Facebook. Definitely haven't been on YouTube, and haven't been on haven't been on LinkedIn for a few weeks, and with good reason. So right now we are in Newquay in Cornwall.
Hi.
It's the different backdrop.
I got new.
And so I had to download Chrome because I didn't realize that this stream doesn't work on anything except from like Chrome or Firefox or whatever. So that's why I'm half an hour late. So I'll only do 5-10 minutes, and then I'm gonna have to get Ruby put to bed. But so the reason why I'm saying find your fearless, so that's basically what I'm doing at the moment. Many of you will know that I was flooded, or we were flooded out of our flat in December, and I had a massive fight on my hands to get us rehomed. And that kept on going for a good 3 months. So a few weeks ago, I stepped back from social media just to kind of regroup a little bit, because it's been energetically really challenging. And of course, a lot of the time I've got the singing. Mainly mine. No. Anyway, so we it got to a point where there were so many different things that were popping up, where the support was kind of dropping, and things were going wrong. So I was put on a list to get one of my wisdom teeth taken out 2 years ago. I went to the dentist, and they were like, "Oh, you've been taken off the list for some reason." And all these different things started happening, and I was like, right, okay, it's time to go. So I did a lot of packing, and we are down in Newquay, Cornwall. So what day did we come down? Tuesday we had a 13, closer to 14-hour trip from Aberdeen to Newquay, and Ruby handled it like a boss. I find it a little bit tougher, but it was fine. So now we're staying in this absolutely gorgeous apartment in Newquay, and it's going to be really, really hard to leave. It's absolutely beautiful, and we've been blessed with really good weather. It's given me time to sort of rest and spend time with Ruby, but also to start putting things together. Like in my newsletter back at the end of last year, I was talking about courses that I was going to be doing and programs that I've already built. I haven't quite yet got back to editing the book, but it's putting all of these different bits in place before going. It would have been really easy for me to just go, I'm not going to do anything until everything is settled. But things got so uncomfortable that I was like, right, okay, we need to make a different leap, a different change. So now we're in Newquay, but potentially we will be heading out to Portugal. Portugal. Details, not 100% sure exactly what is happening, but essentially, since I'm going to be taking steps to do the business and everything online, it's just going to be so much more I'm going to be so much more motivated if the weather is nice. The weather is nice. So yeah, lots of plans. I've lost my trail of thought. Partially because I was going to do this half an hour ago. Gotten a little bit tired now. But I thought I would show up anyway. Because yeah, so like when everything was going wrong, and then so of course to go back to the flooding of the flat, about a month and a half, maybe 2 months ago, I was told, oh, it's dry, move back in. And I was like, no, it's not. Stop gaslighting me. Hysterics ensued, not mine. It was only with going to the press a second time that they started to really look into the whole thing with the flat, because they didn't want it to go to press again. So now, of course, things are happening where they're like, oh, we're doing this, we're doing that. And I was like, I just need to get away. And I think sometimes you need something that is really disruptive and really life-shaking, like being flooded out of your flat 2 weeks before Christmas and having to fight to be homed. To kind of go, I don't want to live like this anymore. So of course, when we were going through, we went through London when we were getting the connection. So it was like Aberdeen to London was the first train, and then the second train was Paddington to Par, and then the last one was Par to Newquay. But when I went through London, of course, it was that sort of that feeling came up, because before I had Ruby, I lived in London for 5 years, and that's where the majority of my fitness career was. And I just felt that motivation come back. I sort of like remembering, the excitement of building a business and teaching and training. And ever since I've been able to move, I did move home, though I did have a business initially in teaching mom and baby exercise classes. So understanding the benefit of exercise on maternal mental health, and just being able to bond with other moms. I set up that business even though I was sleeping about 2 hours a night and really battling with my postpartum depression. The doctors wouldn't help. But as much as I did love it, like I really love teaching more intense classes. So things like your spinning classes and your HIIT classes and your strength and conditioning and things. But it's just inaccessible when I'm back up in Aberdeen, because a lot of the gyms are employed, and just the way that you kind of get about it just makes things a lot harder. Whereas in London, you have lots of forums and stuff where you can go on and you can pick up class cover, and you can go and do auditions and things like that and pick up classes really easily. And of course, my clients in London were just absolute fire. I loved it. So while we were going through London, I did have a little bit of homesickness. But obviously coming through to Newquay, absolutely amazing. And, it's a very surfy kind of environment. I'm someone that like lives in hoodies, and vans and stuff. And I want to be able to skate and surf. So I thought, oh God, this would be an amazing place to live. But of course, in terms of getting somewhere to live unless you're buying is incredibly difficult on the South Coast. So this is where I'm looking into potentially just spending a little bit of time in Portugal, while we've still got a little bit of time to play around with before the flat is potentially ready, and seeing what connections I can make, seeing how I can set the business back up in a way that makes me excited again. I came off of LinkedIn about 3-4 weeks ago, because I just realized I was like, I'm not excited, and I'm showing up, angry about situations or frustrated, or just, focusing really in hard on the mental health side of things, but in a way that wasn't really building up. And I knew that I had to take a step away and go, okay, so what do I need to return to? And I get a lot of people ask me questions around, what do I do? What do I do? And a lot of it is it's kind of doing what I'm doing right now and feeling the fear and doing it anyway. Taking intuitive moves and having a very clear idea of what it is that you're going to do, and being willing to be absolutely terrified at pulling the rug from underneath you. I mean, when it came to coming to Newquay, when we got here, particularly when I got in this apartment, I was just like, I can't even remember why Newquay, and why I'd booked certain places and things like that. And I'm so glad that I did, because it's just amazing. And it's made me realize how much I've been stuck and how much I've needed to move. But yeah, that's kind of why I chose to come on live and come and stream on a Sunday night, was just to get back in the habit of showing up on video and just letting things flow, because I get into the habit, like most people, I'm gonna say, hazard a guess at, is just kind of drawing back in and hiding away and going through things and thinking, oh, I should show up, oh, I should talk about this, oh, I should do this. So instead of kind of sitting in that procrastination, which I can tend to do, I'm like, right, it's go time. So yeah, hopefully, well, not hopefully, the website will be ready by the end of the week. I mean, it's like the landing page is pretty much done. It's not my first time building a website. It's more going to be the loading the courses up and everything that is going to take a little bit more time. But it feels so good to be back. Instead of focusing everything on rebuilding a life that I wasn't even excited about, and waiting for things to happen and other people having control over my life, waiting for this flat to sort, it feels so good to be up and out and going, okay, how can I build this business? How can I move, and how can I build a life that we actually want to be living? So it's moving. So in December, I had, was it December? It was either November or December. I had said that I was going to be doing a trauma-informed well-being based class. It is going to be that, but there's going to be a few different sections. So I'm still undecided whether I'm going to do a few separate courses, and people can pick whether they get them all or, you know, pick up bits, because there's a sleep element. So there's a 6-week sleep element. There's a 6-week goal setting, which is basically the fearlessness kind of thing. Once you can get a really good idea of how to build your goals and the plans and the actions, so that instead of tight death grip planning, you kind of do that and then let go, and you kind of end up following it just by default. So there's that 6-week part as well. But I also did a 12-week fitness and nutrition course. Actually, there's 2 of them, so it's quite big. So that's why I'm thinking I'm going to split them up. But once I've got them loaded up, I'm excited. I'm excited, but it's just trying to decide which way to do. It's going to be self-led to start with. The first round that I do, that's going to be group coaching based, will not be until June, because that gives me enough time to figure out, okay, so where are we going or where are we staying? You know, that kind of idea, and allows me to be nice and settled and make sure Ruby's nice and settled before I do anything that's led. But generally speaking, the type of people that like to do the work that I do like to do things by themselves. They like to be given the tools. Basically, we tend to have clients that are very like ourselves, don't we? I like to do things where someone gives me the tools and I go and do the work, and it's very self-led. That's kind of how it's going to be built. There's going to be plenty of stuff to do. And in terms of one-to-one coaching, same sort of thing. People are absolutely welcome to pre-book with me, but I'm not looking to do that until the next at least 2-3 weeks at earliest. But yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting times. And I'm reluctant to show you around because it's not going to be super tidy because we've just had dinner and stuff. I'm like, how nice is this? Bearing in mind what we were in before. So yeah, and we're just like super close to what's it called? Headland or something, but basically walk 5 minutes up that way and you can look out over Fistral Beach, and then go down the other way, like, 15, 20 minutes and you're in the center of town. So yeah, it's nice. But I will be returning to LinkedIn soon, and I'll probably do more lives just to kind of get into it that are a little bit more structured. But I thought I would catch everyone up. I'm saying LinkedIn because LinkedIn tends to be where most people are watching from, but it is streaming to Facebook and YouTube as well. But anyway, I think that's enough catch up for now. I'm going to get Ruby to bed and then I'm going to do some yoga. Oh yeah, because I'm doing my yoga teacher training as well at the moment and learning Portuguese. Yeah. So thank you for joining me, and I will see you again soon.